The 1980s were dominated by MTV pop icons and the rising star power of Hollywood's Brat Pack. Key figures included massive musicians like Michael Jackson, Madonna, and Prince, alongside actors such as Michael J. Fox, Molly Ringwald, Tom Hanks, and Eddie Murphy. Let's take a few minutes to remember some celebrities from then till now in this 80s retrospective. Daryl Hannah. Daryl Hannah, born December 3, 1960, is an American actress, director, and environmental activist. She has acted in comedic and dramatic roles in more than 100 film and television productions since the 1970s. Hannah made her film debut at age 17 in 1978 with an appearance in Brian De Palma's horror film, The Fury. Hannah has appeared in a number of successful action and thriller films. The supernatural The Fury in 1978 began her career, and she achieved fame with Blade Runner in 1982. Romantic comedies followed. Summer Lovers also in 1982, the fantasy comedy Splash in 1984, and Roxanne in 1987. She was in both Kill Bill Volume 1 in 2003 and Volume 2 in 2004. Hannah played Elle Driver, a one-eyed assassin in these Quentin Tarantino films. Outside of acting, Hannah has directed and was nominated for the Grammy Award for Best Music Film. She is noted for her environmental and social activism. In October 2012, Hannah was arrested and jailed in Wood County, Texas, for criminal trespassing. She and a local landowner, 78-year-old Eleanor Fairchild, were arrested while protesting against the TransCanada Keystone XL oil sands pipeline by attempting to block heavy construction equipment. Although they were charged with trespassing, they were in fact protesting on Fairchild's land. Hannah had long-term relationships with John F. Kennedy Jr. and musician Jackson Browne. She and Browne began dating in 1983 and broke up in 1992 amid unsubstantiated rumors that Browne had been physically abusive to her. Hannah began a relationship with musician Neil Young in 2014, and they married in 2018. Hannah was among the numerous women who brought abuse allegations against Harvey Weinstein. In a part of Ronan Farrow's 2017 exposé, Hannah claimed that Weinstein harassed her multiple times during the production of Kill Bill and that he once tried to break into her hotel room. She fled the room through a fire escape. Hannah later expressed belief that Weinstein sabotaged her career in retaliation for refusing his advances since she struggled to find acting work after appearing in Kill Bill. Daryl Hannah has an estimated net worth of $20 to $25 million. Molly Ringwald. Molly Kathleen Ringwald was born February 18, 1968. She's an American actress, writer, and translator. She began her career as a child actress on the sitcoms Different Strokes and The Facts of Life, both in 1979 and 1980, before being nominated for a Golden Globe Award for a starring role in the drama film Tempest in 1982. Ringwald became a teen idol following her lead roles in filmmaker John Hughes's teenage film 16 Candles in 1984, The Breakfast Club in 1985, and Pretty in Pink in 1986. These films led to the media referring to her as a member of a group of actors known as the Brat Pack. Ringwald has openly said she faced predatory behavior from older men in Hollywood when she was young, describing questionable situations and being taken advantage of as a minor. Ringwald has spoken about how scenes in 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club have aged poorly, calling out sexual consent issues and problematic writing by John Hughes. Ringwald has said it felt peculiar that Hughes wrote films specifically for her when she was only 15, which has sparked discussion. She said that Judd Nelson would harass her off set as part of his method acting. He would make fun of her blind musician father, touch on other hot-button issues, and tease, harass, and bully her, much like his on-screen persona. Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall remain close friends. Her public image has remained clean, and most controversial topics around her are about Hollywood's treatment of young actresses, not misconduct on her part. Ringwald's final starring roles as a teenager were in The Pickup Artist in 1987, For Keeps in 1988, and Fresh Horses also in 1988. In the 1990s, she starred in the films Betsy's Wedding in 1990 and Teaching Mrs. Tingle in 1999, as well as starring in multiple French films after moving to Paris. Ringwald also returned to television, with main roles as Franny Goldsmith in the ABC miniseries The Stand in 1994 and Carrie Donovan on the ABC sitcom Townies in 1996. Ringwald had starring roles in the films Gem and The Holograms in 2015 and Siberia in 2018, and a main role as Paige Waney on the Family Channel television series Raising Expectations from 2016 to 2018. In the late 2010s and 2020s, she experienced a career resurgence with a recurring role as Mary Andrews on the CW series Riverdale from 2017 to 2023, and a starring role in the Kissing Booth film series in 2018 to 2021. Ringwald later had main roles as Sherry Dahmer on the first season of the Netflix biographical anthology series Monster in 2022, and Joan Carson on the second season of the FX biographical anthology series Feud in 2024. Ringwald has translated 2 books from French to English. The first was the novel Lie With Me by Philippe Besson. The second was My Cousin Maria Schneider by Vanessa Schneider, a book about the French actress Maria Schneider, whose career was largely defined by a sex scene with Marlon Brando in the film Last Tango in Paris, despite her many other accomplishments as an actress. In 2014, Ringwald began writing an advice column for The Guardian, answering questions about love, family, or life in general. In February 2024, Ringwald made her runway modeling debut at New York Fashion Week, walking for Batsheva. Ringwald stated she was very aware of her public image during her teen years, and she tried to be a good role model for her fans. In the 1980s, Ringwald dated musician Dweezil Zappa and rapper Ad Rock of the hip-hop group Beastie Boys. Ringwald married Valérie Leminaire, a French writer, in Bordeaux, France, on July 28, 1999. They divorced in 2002. She married Panio Giannopoulos, a Greek-American writer and book editor, in 2007. They have a daughter and boy-girl twins. Her pregnancy was written into the storyline of The Secret Life of the American Teenager. She was the subject of an episode in Season 7 of the genealogy series, Who Do You Think You Are? Molly Ringwald has an estimated net worth of $11 million. She built this fortune through a decade-spanning career in entertainment, originating as a child actress before defining 1980s teen cinema. Rob Lowe. Robert Hepler Lowe, born March 17, 1964, is an American actor, filmmaker, and entertainment host. Following numerous television roles in the early 1980s, he came to prominence as a teen idol and member of the Brat Pack, with starring roles in The Outsiders in 1983, and In Class also in '83, The Hotel New Hampshire in 1984, Oxford Blues in 1984, St. Elmo's Fire in 1985, About Last Night in 1986, and Masquerade in 1988, and then one of the biggest celebrity scandals of the 80s that nearly destroyed his career. In 1988, during the Democratic National Convention, Rob Lowe filmed an encounter with the 16-year-old girl and her 23-year-old friend. Lowe has always maintained he believed the girl was 21. This is explicitly stated in the reporting. In 1989, the teenager's mother sued Rob Lowe. Lowe settled the lawsuit with the family. He was not charged with a crime because the age of consent laws and the circumstances made prosecution unlikely. The scandal nearly ended his career. Maury Povich said tabloid TV shows were grinding away at Lowe nonstop during that period. Lowe himself later said the scandal forced him to get sober, and it changed his life trajectory. It ultimately became the best thing that ever happened to him because it pushed him into recovery and stability. He rebuilt his career slowly and eventually became a respected actor again. He celebrated 29 years of sobriety in 2026. He now talks about the scandal openly and with a surprisingly reflective tone. Lowe said he always worked after that, but he compared it to being a professional baseball player, playing for Double or Triple A instead of the major leagues. He said he lost the role in Titanic to Billy Zane. It took 6 to 7 years to rebuild his career. His notable credits during this time were supporting roles in comedy films such as Wayne's World in 1992, Tommy Boy in 1995, and Austin Powers' The Spy Who Shagged Me in 1999. By the turn of the millennium, his career saw a resurgence when he ventured back into television, making his breakthrough as Sam Seaborn on the NBC political drama The West Wing from 1999 to 2003, for which he received nominations for a Primetime Emmy Award and 2 Golden Globe Awards. His other television roles include Robert McAllister on the ABC drama Brothers and Sisters from 2006 to 2010, Chris Traeger on the NBC sitcom Parks and Recreation from 2010 to 2015, and as Captain Owen Strand on the Fox drama 911 Lone Star from 2020 to 2025. And in 2018, he made his directorial debut with the television film The Bad Seed, a remake of the 1956 film of the same name. Lowe has been married to former makeup artist Cheryl Burkhoff since 1991. They met on a blind date in 1983, and again on the set of Lowe's movie Bad Influence. They have 2 sons, named Matthew and John Owen. Rob Lowe has a net worth estimated at $100 million as of 2026. He has built this fortune through his decades-long acting career, television production, and lucrative real estate investments. Ralph Macchio. Ralph George Macchio Jr. was born on November 4, 1961. He's an American actor. Macchio's first role came in 1980 when he was in a Bubble Yum commercial, but he's best known for portraying Daniel LaRusso in 4 Karate Kid films from 1984 to 2025, and in Cobra Kai, a martial arts comedy drama series that ran for 6 seasons on Netflix from 2018 to 2025. For his work in the latter, Macchio was nominated for 2 Critics' Choice Awards and a Primetime Emmy Award. He is also known for portraying Johnny Cade in Francis Ford Coppola's ensemble 1983 film, The Outsiders, and Bill Gambini in Joe Pesci's 1992 film, My Cousin Vinny. Additional notable performances were in 80's Enough in 1980 to 1981, in Crossroads, where he played Eugene Martone in 1986. He was in Ugly Betty from 2008 to 2009, and The Deuce from 2017 to 2019. He has also worked as a director and has produced 2 short films. And in 2024, Macchio received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In October 2024, he was featured prominently in the music video of the Coldplay song The Karate Kid. Macchio was introduced to his future wife, Phyllis Fierro, by his grandmother when he was 15. They got married on April 5, 1987, and they have 2 children together, Julia, born in 1992, and Daniel, born in 1996. Julia appeared in seasons 4 and 5 of Cobra Kai, portraying her father's character's cousin named Vanessa LaRusso. Macchio earned his black belt in karate in April 2025, a little more than 40 years after portraying Daniel LaRusso in The Karate Kid. In May 2025, Macchio and his Karate Kid Legends co-star Jackie Chan were awarded an honorary black belt by the World Karate Federation during the film's New York premiere. Macchio is involved with multiple charities that support medical research and children's causes, such as the Cantor Fitzgerald Relief Fund and the Maurer Foundation. In 2016, he took part in a benefit featuring a screening of The Karate Kid to raise funds for a local wildlife rescue center. Macchio is also a strong advocate of breast health education and prevention due to his wife having a breast cancer scare in the past. Ralph Macchio is 64 and has an estimated net worth of $8 to $10 million. His wealth has been built primarily through his iconic role as Daniel LaRusso in the Karate Kid film franchise and his starring role and executive producing credits on the highly successful Netflix series Cobra Kai. Corey Haim. Corey Haim was born on December 23, 1971, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He grew up in a Jewish family. As a child, he was shy and his mother enrolled him in acting classes to help build his confidence. At the time, he was also more interested in hockey and comic books than performing. His path into acting began when he accompanied his sister Carrie to an audition and was noticed by people involved in the casting process. That chance moment led to his own introduction to acting, and before long, he was working professionally in commercials and television. It was the beginning of a career that would make him one of the best-known teen stars of the 1980s. Haim's early screen work included the Canadian television series The Edison Twins, where he appeared in 26 episodes between 1982 and 1986. He also made one of his earliest film appearances in Firstborn in 1984. In the movie, he played a boy caught in a tense family situation, and the role gave him early exposure in Hollywood. In 1985, Haim appeared in several films, including Secret Admirer, Murphy's Romance, and Silver Bullet, the Stephen King adaptation in which he played a young boy facing a terrifying werewolf threat. These roles helped him build momentum as a young actor with strong appeal to audiences. The following year, he earned even more attention for his performance in Lucas, a coming-of-age drama that showcased a more emotional and grounded side of his acting. The film was widely praised, and Haim's performance helped establish him as more than just a child star. Then came the role that made him a major pop culture figure, The Lost Boys in 1987. Playing Sam Emerson, Haim became a recognizable face to audiences everywhere. The film was a hit and helped define his image as a teen idol. Around this period, he also formed a close acting partnership with Corey Feldman, and the two became known as the Two Coreys. Haim and Feldman went on to appear together in several projects, including License to Drive in 1988, Dream a Little Dream in 1989, Watchers in 1988, and Prayer of the Rollerboys in 1990. Their on-screen chemistry made them a familiar duo to fans of late 1980s teen films. By the end of the decade, Haim was one of the most recognizable young actors in Hollywood. But behind the fame, Haim struggled with serious personal problems. He battled substance abuse from a young age, and those struggles affected both his health and his career. As the years went on, his work shifted more toward lower-budget and direct-to-video productions. Like many former child stars, he found it difficult to sustain the momentum he had built in his teens. Haim also experienced financial instability later in life. Reports around the time of his death described him as struggling financially, and his personal circumstances had become increasingly difficult. In 2007 and 2008, he reunited with Corey Feldman for the A&E reality series The Two Coreys, which followed their friendship and Haim's ongoing attempts to manage his life and career. The show brought him back into the spotlight, but it did not lead to a full career comeback. Corey Feldman later made a shocking claim that Charlie Sheen abused Corey Haim during the filming of Lucas, an accusation Sheen flat-out denied. But Haim's mother pushed back too, calling Feldman's story false and saying it dishonored her son's memory, that it was 100% untrue and deeply hurtful to her son's legacy. Corey Haim died on March 10, 2010, in Burbank, California, at the age of 38. His death was ruled to be caused by pneumonia, and toxicology results did not show a fatal drug overdose. He was buried on March 16, 2010, at Part Shalom Cemetery in Vaughan, Ontario. Corey Haim is still remembered as one of the defining teen stars of the 1980s. He brought vulnerability, charm, and energy to roles in Lucas, The Lost Boys, and License to Drive. His career also became a reminder of how difficult it can be for child actors to grow up in the public eye while dealing with pressure, addiction, and unstable support systems. Even with the struggles that marked his later life, Haim left behind a body of work that continues to resonate with fans who grew up watching him. His legacy remains tied to a very specific era of Hollywood, when teen stars could become instant icons almost overnight. At the time of Corey Haim's death in 2010, at the age of 38, Corey Haim had a negative net worth of approximately $100,000 to $200,000. Corey Feldman. Corey Scott Feldman was born on July 16, 1971, in Chatsworth, California. He started acting very young, appearing in commercials and television before becoming one of the most recognizable child stars of the 1980s. By the mid-1980s, Feldman was everywhere. He appeared in films like Gremlins in 1984, The Goonies in 1985, Stand By Me in 1986, Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, and A New Beginning in 1984 and 1985, and The Lost Boys in 1987. He built a career that made him a familiar face to an entire generation. A major part of his legacy is his partnership with Haim. The two became known as the Two Coreys after starring together in The Lost Boys, and they later appeared in projects like License to Drive and Dream a Little Dream. Off-camera, Feldman's life has been marked by hardship and controversy. He has spoken for years about abuse, exploitation, and addiction within the entertainment industry, and those experiences became a major part of his public identity and advocacy. In 2013, Feldman's memoir choreography added to that conversation. When he wrote about abuse, he says he suffered as a child actor. Years later, in his 2020 documentary My Truth, Feldman claimed that Haim had told him Charlie Sheen had assaulted him while they were filming Lucas. Charlie Sheen strongly denied the allegations, which I've already mentioned all of what I want to. If you want, you can learn more about it in Charlie Sheen's Netflix documentary, aka Charlie Sheen, the true story behind the documentary's most shocking moments. Because Haim died in 2010, the allegation remains a claim made by Feldman, not something independently proven. Feldman has also faced backlash over his public behavior, business ventures, and repeated attempts to keep his music and acting careers going. Even so, he has remained a persistent public figure, often bringing attention back to the dark side of child stardom and the pressures young actors face. Today, Corey Feldman is remembered as both a major 1980s child star and a controversial figure who has spent much of his adult life telling his side of the story. Whether people agree with him or not, he remains one of the most talked about survivors of that era of Hollywood. As of 2026, Corey Feldman has an estimated net worth of approximately $30,000 to $50,000 as of 2026. While the former child star of 1980s classics like The Goonies and Stand By Me generated substantial fame, his wealth has been heavily impacted by past substance abuse battles and ongoing legal or personal expenses. His divorce from Courtney Mitchell was finalized, legally requiring him to pay $100,000 in spousal support. Stay tuned for more retrospectives. If you like this video and want to see more like it, please throw me a thumb. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all in the next one.